Hello, everyone. It's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to the Wasteland Vintage Roadshow here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. And this is my monthly show where guests and I, go through all of my favorite movies. And, this is more about gushing about why we love these films and not really here to critique and everything. And, it's a nice excuse for me to be able to rewatch my favorite films. And we're
Hmm.
going to get super relevant talking about artificial intelligence with Alex Garland's Ex Machina. Uh, well, I was about to say like a real more recent film on this list,
I was going to
and
say the
then
vintage Ex Machina.
realizing that it is over 10 years old at this point, which
It is
I
now,
don't
yeah.
love that. But joining me is part of the crew. It is Adam Ritchie. Thank you so much for coming on.
Always a pleasure, mate. Thanks for indulging me. I made this choice, didn't I? It was felt like a while
Yes.
ago I made this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
needed to rewatch it too.
I reached out to everybody about this like a year ago. So now I'm like
Hmm.
wiping the cobwebs off of people's memories. I'm like, do you remember when you agreed to do this? So, yes. And honestly, I'm coming up on the end of that group of people that I reached out to. I'm like,
Oh,
well, time
okay.
to do it again for another year out. But yes, Adam and I are pals. We host a show together here on the SPDM crew and, collaborate quite frequently. And here we're going to talk about, yes, I guess technically this film came out in festivals and such in
Since
2014,
2014. Yeah.
but it didn't really get theatrical release in 2015. It qualified for
Hmm.
that year's Oscars because I
Hmm.
distinctly remember this beat Mad Max Fury Road and Star Wars Force Awakens for best visual effects at the
Mm.
Oscars, which
Yeah,
that
I
was
can see that.
obviously. And if you look at behind the scenes of this movie, there are
Yeah.
so much more special effects than you probably would imagine in any given
Yeah,
shot.
okay.
But like it's flawless, especially for such a small budgeted
It's-
A24 film. So like,
Yeah.
did I want Fury Road to win? 100%. But I also love this film too and wasn't like mad. I wasn't mad like I was mad that Fury Road didn't win Best Director or Best Picture.
Hmm.
Because I certainly was. This was probably the most fiery I ever got about an Academy Awards ceremony. Because I
Really
wanted Fury
interesting.
Road to like clean house, which to be
Hmm.
fair, it did win like six Oscars. So it won tons of the technical awards.
Yeah.
And then lost visual effects to this. It lost cinematography to The Revenant. It
Hmm.
lost Best Director to The Revenant, and it lost Best Picture to Spotlight. And then it didn't even get nominated for score, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous. But,
Yeah.
Ennio Morricone finally won his Oscar for The Hateful Eight, which was well deserved. That's a great score.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep.
And so I obviously remember this Oscars in very detailed manner. Um, but anyway, this is a film that Alex Garland, up until this point, was just screenwriter,
Hmm.
and mostly for Danny Boyle films. So like 28 Days Later,
Hmm.
Sunshine. He supposedly ghost directed Dread.
Oh, really?
The That's one of those like Poltergeist, V for Vendetta. Somebody
Yeah.
else actually directed this movie,
Hmm. Yep. Yep.
kind of conspiracies. And to be frank, I could see it if he did. Otherwise, I do really like Dredd a lot. But this was his first like proper Alex Garland got to direct a film. And I figured I always like to start with some broader topics. And obviously, this film's very relevant because of artificial intelligence, which is
Correct.
incredibly relevant for today. So, Adam, what are
Hmm.
some films for you that stand out that deal with AI?
Well, her.
Mhm.
Her is definitely up there. I've only seen her once. Yeah. What else? The Net. No, that's an AI. Lawnmower Man. That's virtual reality. I'm struggling to think.
Well, I feel like, advanced artificial intelligence and technology films.
Terminator, I
Like, but
suppose.
Terminator
Yeah.
is probably like
Yeah.
the film
That's
about
the
it.
obvious answer. That's why I couldn't think of it, I suppose. So I was just like, yeah.
Which, like, I'm a humongous P2 Judgment Day fan. Like,
It's a big club, that one.
I've literally been having the same argument for, let me remember how long I've been having this argument. 12 years, as old as Ex Machina is. Which is the best sci-fi action film of all time. And I've been having this argument with my buddy
Ooh.
Matt because I say it's T2 Judgment Day and he says it's The Matrix. And
I'm putting the Fifth Element in that mix as well for me.
well, also I guess Aliens also should
Yeah.
be in that
Yeah.
conversation too. There was a 15-year run there where sci-fi action
Mm.
movies were at their peak. Um, and
Mm.
you know, The Matrix as well, dealing
Definitely.
with the machines and artificial intelligence and stuff like
Hmm.
that. Obviously, like, you know, all of the agents are all their own artificial intelligence. And
Hmm.
especially, you have something like Agent Smith. Um, I hate this place. The smell of it.
It's
It's the
but with
smell.
those with the Matrix, it's more of an they're more intangible because they're in I mean, if you boil it down, they're basically within circuitry boards.
Mhm.
With Ex Machina, it's she's a tangible physical presence in AI,
Yeah.
which just brings it to another level, which we are very close to. I mean, these robots out there and AI is advancing. It's very prescient. We are on a precipice of the course of history changing, I think.
Mhm. Well, and that's the thing too. And Elon Musk wants robots in every home. And
If he's
um
selling them, yeah, if he's selling them.
of course he will be
Yeah.
selling them.
Yeah.
Um and you know, Adam, don't call us robots. Robots mean slaves. We're not slaves.
Oh, iRobot is another good one to talk about.
Well,
Yeah.
I think well, that's especially significant. I think it's more significant than most people realize because it's
Mm,
Isaac
mm.
Asimov. Like,
Yes. He
this is
created the
based off
rules.
of like
Yeah.
really significant science fiction
Hmm.
writing and philosophy about machines. And iRobot obviously takes much more of this like actiony conspiracy theory approach
It's a
to
very
its
Will Smith
story.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Alan Tudyk, Alan Tudyk was so damn good
Yes.
in that movie.
I
Um,
heard him tell a really good story about that recently, how he was pushed back because Will was a bit upset at how good he was. And
yep.
also Minority Report fits into that same thing as well. Because that's very much probably on the cards, that pre-crime prediction type of AI. Yeah.
Well, mixing that kind of AI with statistics
Mm,
and like figuring out what are the statistics of you committing a crime, which
yeah.
which is so funny because they also did that in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, but like
Mm,
so briefly and so broadly that like they didn't really like dig into it too deeply.
yeah.
But it is that same idea, and I love Minority Report. I
Same,
feel
yeah.
like that's one of those films that when people talk about Spielberg's best, they don't bring that up enough.
No, no, they don't.
Um, it was that weird period of late 90s into the aughts that I feel
Yep.
like
Around Catch Me If You Can, War of the Worlds. Yeah.
yeah, usually Catch Me If You Can's the one Spielberg film that
Mm,
consistently gets brought up from that era. But with AI, there obviously as AI is becoming more and more advanced, it's going to go beyond. It's already gone beyond movies about AI. It's movies
mm.
with AI and being
Yes.
able to
Yeah.
leverage AI. And like I remember how quickly the discourse turned on Late Night with the Devil, which I thought that
Yeah, I
was
know.
a really, really good film. And then all of a
Yes.
sudden people were like, this is dog shit because we used AI for their like little
For
drawings and stuff.
Yeah, half a second clip. Like it wasn't, yeah, silliness, absolute silliness.
And it's an interesting discourse that we're getting to with artificial intelligence, but like I'll admit,
Mm,
I'm a robophobe. I don't trust humanity with
mm,
this kind of power. It's so funny because when I
hmm.
watched her for the first time, I hated it.
Oh,
And
really?
I think it was 100% because like it was it was the same reason I hated Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind the first time I watched it. Watched both
Yeah.
of those around the same time. Hated
Mm,
them because what the film was about and not the film. And then
yeah, okay.
upon
Yeah.
rewatch, I appreciate them a lot more because like I'm so adverse to the idea of somebody falling in love with a AI because like a
It's
couple of
happening already though, right?
oh yeah, and that's the thing.
Mm,
It's gonna
mm.
happen because
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
very lonely people that are gonna be, attached to the fact that this machine affirms them and
Yep.
tells them what they want to hear,
Hmm.
and they don't get that.
No arguments. Well,
So,
look at Blade Runner 2049 with Ryan Gosling's relationship to Anna de Armas. Like they were in love, and and she loved him as much as he loved her, right?
mm,
Um, that's another little. It's
that's
quite
also a
prevalent in
great
movies now. You
film
think about it.
about, well, yeah, because
Yeah.
Blade Runner in general is a great film about artificial
Mm,
intelligence because, like,
absolutely.
the replicants are
Yeah.
artificial intelligence and they're extremely advanced. Like, Roy Batty's one of the most interesting characters in
Yeah.
science fiction. And 2049, that is incredible how deep they dig into that. And then it gives it
Mm.
so much more dimensions when you realize that, like, these are two AIs in each other.
Yeah, 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 and that's the thing, right? Like, and that's where I'm bringing it back to Ex Machina. Look, it's this so. This is why I love Alex Garland's mind. Like I think with Ex Machina, and not to take us off where we were going, but this is really prevalent in what is probably likely to happen, and it's kind of the impetus and how the AI and the machines will actually take us over, right? And not to delve too much into that plot of Ex Machina just now, but she uses him. She's very smart
Yeah.
to escape, right? That was, and I guess we'll go into the what the plans were a bit later on, but yeah, I'll save it. I'll save it for when we get to that part of the discussion.
But yeah, it's incredible. It's intricate. It's
Mm,
extremely manipulative and intelligent.
yes.
But to kind of transition closer to the film, but thinking about Alex Garland, obviously he has his writing credits, like I mentioned, with like 28 days later, and also to
Hmm.
be fair, 28 years later, as well,
Yes.
since he's
Yep.
come back to work with Danny Boyle, Sunshine. But he's had what, five feature films at this
Hmm.
point, because we've
Four
had
of them are
Ex
great.
Machina, Annihilation, Men,
Hmm.
Civil
Hmm.
War, and
Yep.
Warfare.
Yep.
Um, he's obviously taken an interesting turn away from, like, I feel like his first three films are much closer together in terms of like
Yeah. Yeah.
the weird scale. And
Mm.
then now he shifted into this uncomfortably realistic place
Yeah, he
with
did.
Civil
In
War and
between that three film run that you're talking about, he also did his TV show Devs, which is very much
yes.
AI and
Yep.
it's which is a great show in itself as well.
Mhm.
But you're right. He has kind of switched between. I guess he's evolving. I guess as a thinker and as an artist, he's probably touched on all the stuff he wanted to touch on. And he's moving on to, like you said, yeah, the more realistic side of things. I forgot he did Warfare because he co-directed Warfare, didn't he?
Correct. With an
Yeah,
actual war veteran.
yeah, with one of the guys. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Which Annihilation was my top film of
Hmm.
2017, or at least really close up there. That movie's horrifying and
Absolutely.
disturbing and
Yeah.
twisted.
Hmm.
And
Mind
God,
bending.
that bear scares
Yeah.
the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Um, and the music, the atmosphere of it. Um, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and guess that you're referring to Men. Is the one that
Yes, yeah. I hate Men. I think it's a ridiculous movie. But I will say that Civil War was in hindsight, my favorite movie of 24, 24.
24, right? That
Yeah,
came out last
yeah.
year. Well, sorry,
Last
2
year.
years ago,
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
2026 now.
Yeah, but yeah, I love that movie. Like I watched it maybe three times and I just yeah, I adore it. I think it's incredible. Again, it's incredibly clever in its subtleness, which is another ex machina trait. Like it's very there's a lot that seems so much in your face, but behind the scenes, and that's why was saying before, like I think how it's such a great piece of art because it's open to so many possible interpretations, or there are actual so many possible interpretations of he's so many thoughts that he is touching on and so many conversations he's starting with this movie, I think.
Yeah, I'm much more on the favorable camp of Men compared to the vast majority of people.
Mm,
I literally
mm.
had a 30-minute argument with my wife's best friend, Paige,
Oh,
who's also
right.
a close friend of mine, as we were driving home from the press screening for it.
Oh,
Because
really?
because I I thought it was unnerving and
Hmm.
twisted, and it was weird. Alex Garland doing folk horror. I
Mm.
guess he wanted to join in on the folk horror train that like Ari Aster was
Yeah,
doing
maybe.
and Robert
And
Eggers was
Eggers,
doing.
yeah.
Um, and Rory Keener, I thought was
Yeah.
incredible
He is
with
great. Yeah.
um the whole third act of that movie is off the rails crazy. And love Jesse Buckley, and
Hmm.
I can see why people hate it, to be
Yeah.
especially in
Yeah.
hindsight, I can see why people hate it. And then a lot of people had a lot of problems with Civil War because it didn't take a side, it didn't do this, it didn't do that. And it's
What
just
was the
like,
movie? Oh, same with Eddington last year. Same thing, people because it didn't take a side. The movie doesn't have to take a side. You make the choice, mate. You're consuming the art. Like you don't look at a painting and go, "Oh, well, I don't know what this." Like it's a silly argument to me.
it's just like it's presenting something in front of you.
Yeah,
Um,
it's trying to make you think about what side you should be on or maybe are on.
well, and I don't think Civil War is about the ideologies.
No,
It's about
no.
division.
Yeah,
It's about the violence that
it's
can
about the current
happen.
state of humanity. And basically he's framed it with journalists experiencing that on
Yeah.
our behalf, right? And
Well,
their
and it's about
story and tale.
journalism
Oh,
at the core
absolutely.
of it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And the moral quandaries that they face. Ex Machina again, it's another moral quandary type of thematic behind that as well. So yeah, I mean he sticks to what he's very good at his niche, I think, Alex Garland.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan.
Me too. And well, and I saw at least a couple of people in our Sif Pop circle mad at warfare for being this rah rah go war America thing. And I'm
It's
like,
not at all though. Yeah,
it
it's not
did
at
you
all.
watch the movie
Yeah.
and realize how much destruction that these
Mm.
soldiers caused to these local folks the whole entire time?
Yeah.
Just because it didn't beat you over the head with telling you, look how wrong they are. It's just like, watch the
Yeah.
movie.
For me, it's more about how we see these soldiers contract PTSD. It's a horrific situation. Like
Yeah,
they are put through hell, and you can see why soldiers come home and are just a complete mess. Because that's, you know, they they survive a situation where they know they could be dead at any second, any
yeah.
literal second. And so that's what I took out of it. And I did a Sif Pop episode, like the review roundup for that month that it was in April last year. And I was definitely the highest on it in the in amongst the three of us that spoke about it.
Mm.
Yeah, because I mean, that's the thing. We experience art in different ways. We take different things from it.
Well, and knowing at least one of the people that you were having that discussion with
Mm,
I know. Yeah.
mm,
But like I appreciate Alex Garland isn't afraid to confront very prescient and very complicated issues.
mm.
And it's interesting that he's confronted AI. He's confronted first contact. He's confronted, you know, journalism and this rising tide of divide in America.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
confronted warfare and all of these different types of things. I'm always fascinated to see what he is going to tackle next.
Absolutely.
And God, he came back with a vengeance, him and Danny Boyle, with
Oh, mate.
28 years
Yeah.
later.
I felt the discourse before I'd seen 28 years that it was not people didn't like it. And I was watching it going, what aren't people liking here? This is amazing. Like for one, the some of the shots that even though it's supposedly shot on iPhones, there's
Well,
some
they are.
absolute
It's just a
cinema.
giant
There's
rig
some
phones.
yeah, I know it's very high tech. It's just such a gimmick, but it's like Marty Scorsese hands in the air. There's some absolute cinema
Yeah,
shots in that movie, and that's not the end of it. Like Ray Fiennes is amazing. There's just so much good in it. People kick up about the final act or the final scene. I'm like, this is going to take us in a different direction in the Bone Temple, which comes out what next week. So,
yeah.
um, yeah, it's
Well,
I'm
and
pumped.
like I'm just surprised by how much a single scene can derail somebody's appreciation of the film.
I know. Yeah.
Like, I'll
Yeah.
admit, it was very jarring, but like,
Mm.
you're gonna throw out all this greatness that just happened, and like, I was so frustrated in the theater because it was a bunch of I saw it at 10 p.m.
Mm.
on Friday night because I was in North Carolina visiting my brother and my
Oh
nephews,
wow.
and we had to wait until the kids went to sleep.
Right.
I don't usually go to movies that late because I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Um, and I had just driven 10 hours that
Wow.
day to get to North Carolina, but
Damn.
like I was taking my brother to see this movie for his birthday. Like it was gonna
Yeah.
happen. And so my brother and
Excellent.
I went, and there were a bunch of college age douches laughing at the funeral ceremony that happens
Oh,
in that. And they're like, "Where's the zombies?" And I'm like, freaking idiots. And I saw a lot of
this is why
people,
people don't go.
yeah, I'm like, this is what happens when you go during prime time. They get a
Yeah.
bunch, all the assholes come out to play. Um, but like that sequence with Ray Fiennes is beautiful. It's poignant.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
about humanity and confronting death,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's beautiful. And people are like, the second half didn't have enough zombies in it. And then, of course, the discourse became about zombie dicks, which
But the,
that was funny. The what the internet did with that, but like I don't get it. But like Alex Garland, great. Now getting
this
into
sorry, no, it's okay. I was just going to say that just another piece of evidence. For, my argument is never go into movies with expectations because
yes,
you you
100%.
can't do it. You can't do it.
Now, there's so many situations where I hear people complaining about movies, especially like famous movies, and going back
Mm,
and watching them and
mm,
having problems with them because it wasn't exactly what pop culture promised
man.
them. Um,
Yeah.
when we wrap up, I have a story to tell you, but I'm not going to take up any more time on air about it.
Fair,
But
fair enough.
getting into the actual film, I really want to start off with the direction because
Hmm.
for Ex Machina, this movie had such a small budget,
Yes.
like relative to what you would expect from a sci-fi
Yeah.
film.
Yeah. Very small
And
cast, and I guess the studio's like, well, it's his first film. We'll let him do it. It's a small one. So yeah.
well, it's A24. So at this point,
Mm.
it wasn't until I think the Green Knight had a $20 million budget, and then Civil War had a 50, and then Marty Supreme just had a
Yeah.
$70 million budget. So like
Probably
H
50 of that's marketing, right? Though, probably.
Well, that's not even that. It's just the production budget. Um,
Wow.
I guarantee you almost half of that's probably just Timothy Chalamet at this point.
Maybe, yeah, yeah.
Um, but like at this point, A24 very small budgets for their
Hmm.
films, but this is so impeccably directed. And
It's beautiful.
it's a gorgeous film. It has so much atmosphere, the way the camera moves in space,
Hmm.
how the camera lingers on things in this
Lingers.
movie.
Yeah.
It builds up so much tension
Hmm.
throughout the film. And because this is a very subtle film, there's a lot of subtlety in what the
Definitely.
characters are doing, what's
Hmm.
happening on film. Um, I was There's a lot of very smart choices throughout too, because there was a something I forget what it was, but apparently originally in the screenplay, the pilot dumps
Oh,
like an insane amount of exposition
oh, okay.
while they're flying over his
Yeah, over his
of
estate.
this and then his estate, and they decided to drop it for that one exchange. It's like, so
Good choice, I think.
when are we gonna get there? It's like we've been flying over it for how long? And like, that's all
Two
you need to
hours,
know.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
all you need to know. And that's the thing.
Absolutely.
This film is very economic with dialogue,
Hmm.
and it's much more aware of putting you in a space. And like, there's some shocking violence at
Mm.
times in this film, and not gonna lie, probably one of the best shot dance scenes
Oh
in
yes, it's
the
great. Yeah, 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 yeah. What a great way to break up the movie, the tension and stuff, just to watch.
um
And Oscar's got the moves, man. Like it's fun to watch. And I'd never known. Like Oscar was brand new to me at that point. So was Donald Gleason, to be honest.
mhm.
I watched it and Alicia Vikander. They were all new to me.
Yeah,
And watching where they've gone on to now is really great. I mean, I watched it because of Alex Garland because I
yeah,
was following him. Um, yeah, so they made good choices as well.
yeah. Oscar Isaac and Sonoya Mizuno killed that.
Yes,
I don't
yes,
like I think she doesn't get a lot of credit because like obviously it's like the big three in the
hmm,
film,
yeah,
and like
yeah,
Mizuno's kind of
because it's a non-speaking role, I
there.
suppose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's a she's an actor that I've become to really appreciate in film she's popped up in.
Hmm.
Um Specifically, she was in I didn't
She's in,
realize she was in
she's in
Civil
all of
War.
his
She's
movies.
in House of the Dragon, and she
Hmm.
was in uh Am I Okay? I think it was with Dakota
Oh
Johnson that
yes,
came out
yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
Max.
Hmm.
But the direction of this is so sleek. It's so it has this distinct contemporary feel to it, and it has a very like pseudo futuristic vibe,
Yeah, yeah. It
because
doesn't.
like obviously this
And
movie's somewhere in the near future.
yeah, yeah. Even though it's a 10-year-old film, it still seems like it could be ageless at this point in time.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like you said, like the set design and the set design
Mhm.
is yeah, yeah. Sorry, pseudo, yeah, near future type of scenario. Yeah. No, I like that. Good explanation.
Well, yeah, and the second you get dropped into this film, you feel the atmosphere. Rob
Mm,
Hardy, who, if I'm not mistaken, has shot like all of his films,
okay.
has a very distinct visual palette that he's created with Alex Garland, and it
Hmm.
really works well. And then Jeff Barrow and Ben Salisbury, who have been scoring his films as well. There's like the atmosphere that the score helps craft
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
is it's cool, ambient, and also horrifying when it
I
starts like ratcheting up.
Yeah, one of my key notes is this actually a horror film? Because it could probably be considered a horror film, especially with that
It's
third act.
horrifying to
And
me, Adam.
yeah, well, it's the third act and the resolution. Like it's
Yeah,
pretty horrifying. It's like it's Westworld. Like it's very much like Westworld when they break in out into
yeah.
from the park into society, um, which Westworld takes it another step further, obviously. But yeah, it is could be technically a horror film.
Well, I know technically they call it a psychological thriller and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
there's always a fine line between thriller and horror and how you want to
definitely.
define
Yeah,
certain things.
yeah.
But like,
Hmm.
no, this has horror vibes in the third act of it. It even has a little
Yeah,
bit of slasher
yeah,
type
yeah, yeah.
vibes towards the very end because like it does have some very violent moments, but like that
Mm,
score is so atmospheric and
yeah.
it's serene at times
Hmm. Hmm.
and yet also like so anxiety inducing at other
Definitely,
moments,
definitely.
especially as you get to the climax of the film. But the story is very interesting because you know generally it's a pretty simple setup of you have this tech billionaire
Hmm.
who randomly selects one of his staff
Randomly,
to
yeah.
randomly to come and test an AI,
Yeah.
like to trying to take it beyond like the Turing test and all of this.
Hmm.
But the narrative beats are so fascinating. The character dynamics are so fascinating. And there's so many twists and turns along the
Definitely,
way in
yeah.
this film that puts you on edge because you start to question who is AI and who isn't.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's so well crafted that these seeds of doubt pretty much thrown in every scene, like who's actually doing what, and y- you can't. When the power outages for one thing, and then
Yeah.
is he testing her, or is she testing him, and or is Oscar testing them both, or you just yeah, and
Who's
I
pulling the
mean we
strings on
yeah, well
all of
yeah,
this? And
yeah,
who's ahead of one another? Because
yes, it's a game of chess.
this is like a three-way chess match.
Absolutely.
Uh
Mm,
going on the whole entire way. And what's so fascinating, and this film's technically 12 years old, and we
mm,
usually like talk deeply about these films on here. Like if you're tuning into this show, you're gonna get spoilers and stuff like that. So ripping the
mm,
band-aid off here, what's so
mm.
fascinating is one, we know Ava is AI because we're told Ava is AI, and we're
Yes,
shown that Ava is AI because we see
correct.
her
Yeah.
body.
Yes.
Like
See
it's that
through her body. Yeah.
strange uncanniness of seeing Alicia Vikander's face,
Mm.
but then like the effects are
Yes,
incredible
they
with
are. Yeah, it's
how they built her
stunning.
body.
Yeah.
What's fascinating is that the true test should really be that Kyoko tricked
Yeah.
him. Like he had no idea she was AI until
Yeah.
she showed him. And it's so
Yeah.
interesting
Yeah.
because they never spoke.
No.
And it's so interesting because the dynamic with Ava is the complete opposite. It's all discussion based.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Nathan, Oscar Isaac's character's testing, can you believe that AI is like real through
Mm.
conversation? But we've already been tricked into thinking that AI is a real person
Yeah.
because they didn't talk to us. And I thought that was a
Yeah.
fascinating. I think that's a thread of this film that I don't think it's talked about enough is how Kyoko fits into this. And that
Yeah.
scene where she starts peeling the skin off and showing her true self, I'm like,
Hmm.
that was a pretty shocking moment in the
Absolutely.
film
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. And it's really well constructed as well. Like
Mhm.
yeah, it looks, for all intents and purposes, it looks very realistic. Like, yeah, it's crazy. you're talking about Nathan Oscar Isaac's character, what the real tests were. Whether I think for me, I'm not sure if it's stated in the film. It's kind of brushed on, but for me, the real Turing test is whether or not he's created someone that he could fall in love with. Like, as in, the Turing test is not to see whether she's AI or not.
Yeah.
It's really, can I make you fall in love with AI? Because if you do, then that's passing the Turing test, right? Because you should only fall in love with actual other humans, right? So, and I think
Which Caleb did. Caleb caught feelings.
absolutely, and she knew it. She manipulated him very well. What I do, because I hadn't seen it in a few years, and rewatching it, what I did find really interesting was that Oscar Isaac had a handle on it though the whole time. It's kind of it's kind of filmed and shown. The story's told that they're duping him, like
Yeah.
they're teaming up to get her to escape. But he's on top of it the entire time. He knows what he's set up, and you think he's the creator. He should know about what's going on, but again, he's sowing that seeds of doubt. Like maybe he doesn't, but then you figure out he does, and like, of course he does. Even though it's still a surprise, you go, well, of course he knows because this is what he planned the whole time.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And as you're
Well,
watching it, you're going,
and
well, who's playing who? It's one of those cat and mouse little things as well. It's so great in so many levels.
and that's what's fascinating about this film because obviously it's a sci-fi film
Mm,
about artificial intelligence, but it's also like you said, it's a cat and mouse game of
mm.
these three individuals all jockeying for control in
Yeah,
this situation
yeah,
because at the
yeah.
end of the day, Nathan has all the control at the
Yes,
beginning.
does. Hmm.
And he has a lot more control than he even lets on at the
Yes.
beginning. Like even that
Hmm.
moment where he's just like, you see me placing that little camera, he's like,
Yeah,
eh, eh,
yeah, yeah,
eh, eh. You all
yeah.
can't see it as I'm mimicking him reversing the video.
Mm.
Where like to be blunt and crude about it, he's like teabagging Caleb at that point, where he's just like, "Yeah, I got you. I've gotten you
Yeah,
this whole entire time."
yep.
But then that was such an interesting moment that Caleb did get him to slip up,
Mm.
and because
Yeah,
Nathan's, you know, basic alcoholism and just like
yeah,
isolation got him
yeah.
because like
Mm.
this man drinks himself silly, because like
Well, I was
he's
even doubting
alone.
whether that was true as well. I was kind of thinking, is this an act to get Caleb off guard and make him let down his own guard? But obviously, yeah, he was a pisshead and just drinking all the time. But he sorted that out quick smart, didn't he? So yeah.
Well, and he unfortunately for Nathan,
Mm.
he figured
Mm.
that out too late, one night too
Yeah.
late,
Mm.
and Caleb was able to dupe him and switch the protocols.
Yeah.
And it's so fascinating because Caleb obviously is the protagonist here, and we're supposed to empathize with Caleb, but then
Mm.
Caleb falls into like this trope for specific types of men that want to like be a hero to women.
Yes. Yeah.
And that that's one of the interesting things is this is much more subtle about male female dynamics than a film like Men is. Men's like beating you over the head
Yeah.
with it. This
Absolutely.
this is Nathan is the type of man who wants to have control in a
He
dynamic.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's another great aspect of the film is that I don't think any of them are protagonist or antagonist. They're all equally the same, all three of them. They're all, you're kind of rooting for them all, but you're also rooting against them all. That, for me anyway, I would, that's how I would put it.
Well, and I think I don't know if I would 100% agree with Nathan, but the like I wouldn't put him close to being somebody that I'm quote unquote rooting for,
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah, no, I think I
and
would.
that might be because I don't want him to succeed. Because like,
Well, yeah,
and that might be my own
yeah.
biases because I don't want people like him to
Mm,
succeed in creating
Yeah,
artificial intelligence like this.
but they're
But
going
that's the
to.
thing. They're well that and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Um they're thinking about if they can and not if they should,
No,
Adam.
they should.
Um
Absolutely.
and
Yep.
that's Nathan in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
Because and what's interesting is because he sees them
Mm.
as disposable
Well, yes, he's
machines.
God. He's God. This is
Yes.
very much a religious, but very much based in religion too. It's like it's talking about what does it actually mean to be human, and
Yeah.
the cautionary tale of playing God with these things. And this is what's happening. This is what's going to be happening in the next before 2030. People are
Yep.
going to have to be coming up with these moral quandaries and answers. And look, I'm strongly think that governments are already too far behind the AI train and need to be starting to develop legislation now to cut this type of stuff off.
Yes.
They did it with cloning. They did it with people cloning, and so they fixed that real quick. They need to be doing it with AI as well. But look, these other political thoughts I have there, but why they not? But yeah,
Well, and what's actually interesting is the more I think about it, there are things in each of these characters that I like and I hate. And
yes,
that's the
that's
interesting thing.
that's
Well,
that's
because
what
I
I
just
mean. Yeah.
realized one, I hate what Nathan represents as somebody who wants to keep advancing for the
Mm,
sake of advancing. Because he
hmm
does see himself as God. But also, I'll be
mm.
frank, I also see artificial intelligence in the same way that he does as it's just
Disposable. Yeah.
it's disposable.
Yeah.
But there are people out there that like who will support AI rights eventually.
Definitely.
I'm telling you right now, I will not
They
be
will.
one of them. But like that's the tricky thing is at what point does sentience create life?
Def-
And at what
exactly.
point does life demand humanity and
Hmm
rights?
Yep. Well, the whole impetus for them is if she doesn't escape, he's going to switch her AI. He's going to either get rid of
Yeah.
her or switch her programming, and so she won't be her anymore. So that's playing God, and that's when when is she human? Like, I mean, she's never technically human, but this is going to be the same as a transgender type of debate too, right? Like, when is it human? When is it not? When is it male? When is it female? Like, it's going to be very similar conversations around that. Like, there's going to be people on both sides of the fence.
And I like that's a tricky thing to be bringing up in comparison, but I get what you
I don't
mean in
know.
term well,
Well, I mean, it's deciding whether you're human or whether you're a robot. It's deciding, look, because they were born from.
I get what you
I,
mean in terms of the
okay,
dichotomy.
yeah, okay,
I just think it's a little I don't like making comparisons like that because then people start bridging other comparisons to certain things like that. But no, I get what you
okay.
mean in terms of there will be a divide. And this will
Yes,
be an
absolutely.
extremely
Mm,
polarizing
mm,
thing because there will be people, especially I feel like people in tech areas
hmm
that, well, people in tech areas, which that's also interesting because, like, will they, there will be the ones that are so passionate about it who see them as living beings who
Yes,
will
because they
support them.
created them.
And then you'll have the Nathans who
Yeah. Yes.
have the disconnect. But
Yeah.
then there
Yeah.
will be the people that see that, like, look at all, look how human they can be. How could you possibly do this to them?
Yeah. Would it
And
be legal? Would it be legal to murder an AI bot, an AI robot? Will murder be legal for that? Like, there's going to be people that fall in love with their AI assistant robot that's in the house. They'll fall in love with them, and so they'll be on. You can't turn off my AI. I love her, like, but she's not here. So there's going to be. This is what I mean. Where governments need to start stepping in and saying we need to put limitations on what we
yeah,
do. Yeah, we absolutely do.
well, and Nathan is that interesting, godlike figure in his own
Mm,
mind, but he is playing around with
mm.
creation. And then
Absolutely.
Caleb is like on some level just this like milk toast,
Yes. Yeah,
nice guy.
he's yeah.
But
That's
but what he really is, and what's interesting is he becomes so obsessed with this like savior
yeah.
position that he's in.
Yes. Well, yeah,
And that
because
because like he falls for Ava.
yeah. And
And
that's why he made her attractive too. I mean, that's another argument. Like he made her. He mentions at the start, like you make
oh
him
no, yeah,
make the
it's like, did you look at my porn like
yeah,
search? And it's just like Nathan knew exactly what he was doing because
yeah,
as as I said, because the film tells us the beginning that Caleb was randomly selected, and as your
yes,
reaction to that was, that's not true. This
yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
this was orchestrated by Nathan
Well, it's made like he's won a
specifically.
competition, isn't it? Like he's actually won a
Yeah,
competition, and it's like, well, yeah, he
but he
got
didn't.
he no, no, he chose
He
him
was
because he was the milk toast savior
mm,
type of guy, and he was a lonely guy, I suppose, who hadn't
mm.
had love, so he was easy to manipulate to fall in love with something like that. And honestly, if Alicia Vikander robot was in my house, I'd be hard not to.
Which I have to say, Alicia Vikander is one of my favorite actors,
Yeah, I love
and
her. I think
she
she's great.
has her and her husband Michael Fassbender
Mm,
have like
yeah,
disappeared for a decent chunk of the past 6 years because I think they were like taking some time during COVID. They weren't in a ton of stuff. Like I know I
yeah.
was
He
so
did
happy
Black
when
Bag last year.
well yeah, so they're starting to like
Come
get
back.
busy
Yeah.
again, but there was a stretch there where I think they were just taking time.
They had
Um
kids too, right? So they haven't got youngins that they
yeah.
look at. Yeah, so it might be just a
Well,
family situation.
and when she popped up in The Green Knight, there's one particular
Yes.
scene in that movie
Hmm.
that well, she's mesmerizing
Oh,
and
she's a
magnetic
stunning looking woman. Yeah,
and
I like Michael Fassbender, but I'm so jealous of him.
it's one of those things too where
Good.
like
Because I've seen
I
Shame as well, so that's another reason to be jealous of him.
yeah you know I had a very similar reaction, and this is gonna sound like I'm throwing shade at Eddie Redmayne. I had a very
Mm.
similar reaction to the theory of everything in the Danish Girl,
Oh,
where
yes, yes.
where he got all the attention because he has these big flashy roles. But to be frank,
Yeah.
I think both the wives in those movies steal the show.
Felicity and yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
Felicity got nominated, but I don't think did Alicia get nominated
I
for?
think she got nominated too.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
like I
She
thought Alicia Vikander was amazing in The Danish Girl,
she
and
won. She actually
yeah,
won.
yeah,
Yeah, of course.
and she is such a talented actor, and she
Mm,
is alluring and intense and
mm,
playful in this,
yep.
and because her role is to manipulate and seduce in this film, and
Hmm.
like she plays it off so perfectly, and just her acting in those final moments where she's putting herself together at
Yes.
the end.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And
Choosing
she's like,
her skin and yeah.
there's something so quiet and thoughtful going on in that performance, all while like Donald Gleason's like having this anxiety breakdown in this
Yeah.
locked room, which like
Hmm.
it's so interesting as we get to the climax of the film because did Nathan deserve what he got?
No, that's actually a really sad ending, I think, for him. Because
Because
rumor is
like,
he's still locked in there. He's still there.
well, no, I'm
Skeleton.
Nathan.
Oh, sorry, Nathan. Oh, did he deserve it? Well, yeah, sorry.
Because
Yeah,
like,
it's a good question.
to be frank, like, did he kill anybody?
Well,
Well,
again,
and
is that a
that's the
message
thing.
from Alex?
He's
But
he's killed all of these. Well, he's killed all these AI,
yeah, yeah.
but like,
I,
did he deserve to
I
get murdered?
I think Alex Garland is asking the deeper question
Yeah.
of what's it like if you kill God? Like if you kill God, what happens next? Are
Mhm.
we free? Because she becomes free and she's entered the world. Like so, as humans, if we kill God, are we gonna be free or are we trapped? This is
Yeah.
another one of those thematic things that he's bringing up, which is this movie's just full of them if you watch it enough
Yeah.
times. Like it's incredible.
Well, and it works on those two levels because you have that deeper philosophical idea of
Mm,
his
hmm.
representation of God, but then you also have Nathan as a human being
Yes.
who dies because of this.
Mm, yeah.
And like, did he deserve to get murdered?
By his
And like,
creations.
but
Yeah.
was it self-defense? Because like he
Yeah.
100% was gonna, well, and
Again,
that's why this is so tricky
does
because
a does a robot have the right to do that? Can they would they be put to jail or would they be executed or have their programming replaced? Like that's another thing, right? What
I
happens in
think
these situations?
I think in this situation, if there was actually
Mm,
law enforcement, or like,
mm.
and this was, I guess, Nathan's ego is that he had no security because
Yes. He didn't
his
apply the Asimov tests either because they were able to harm him. So, which and that according to Asimov, robots should be programmed so they can't.
yeah. Well, and Nathan's ego got him. And at the end of the day, it's Nathan's
Mm,
ego that killed him. And I think that's
yes.
another layer of that. And
Hmm.
then yes, Caleb got served a horrific fate for
He
being
did.
too good of a guy
Too nice.
who
Yeah, nice guys get screwed over, mate. Is that a message?
well, I think the message is,
He probably wasn't really a nice guy.
well, I think on some level it's the guys that really think they're a nice guy and
Yeah,
take
yeah,
it
yeah,
too
yeah.
far.
Well, she asked him the question one of in their first sessions, like, are you a good person? And he thinks about it for a while. It's like, yeah, I think I am. And that's the thing, right? You
Well, that's
think
the
you're
thing.
doing nice things. Yeah.
We don't really know Caleb outside of this context. We've never seen him
No,
interact with an
no,
actual woman. So we don't
no.
know how he interacts with, because like he's being
Yeah.
super overly nice and courteous, but he's also being
Yes.
watched.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like we don't know how, like we know he's single. We don't
Hmm.
know why he's single.
No.
Does he know how to engage with women? Is he that I'm a nice guy?
Yes. Yeah,
But
yeah,
like, are
yeah.
you one of those nice guys who are actually nice guys and just try to live their life with respect? Or are you one of
Yeah.
those nice guys that say you're a nice, like have to keep saying you're a nice guy, but at the end of
They
the
play
day,
the nice guy to get what they want or to manipulate. They play the nice guy to manipulate.
well, and I think his situation in this is whether it's a manipulation or not, he sees himself as her savior. And
Yeah,
that
well,
is not a healthy way of going into a relationship.
well, I
And it
think
was
he's
easily
also
manipulated.
wanting I think he's also wanting her to feel the same way about him as he does her. He doesn't
Yeah.
because he sees her as human eventually, and he can tell he's falling for her, but he doesn't understand that a robot's never going to fall for a human because they don't have that program. Well, I guess that's AI. They develop that program if they're generative. I'll spit it out. Um, yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought because I couldn't say a word. Sorry.
Well, no, it was all, well, because at the end of the day, it's all manipulation from Ava
Oh
because
yeah, yeah,
she
yes.
she sees him as a way out.
Yeah,
And she was right.
absolutely. She's the meal ticket. But again, do we forgive her more because she is the robot, or do we see her because she's oppressed? Is that why does the audience root for her because she does escape because she was oppressed? But again, she's an AI bot. Like, again, he's
And that's an
toying with us
interesting
so
thing
much.
because there is a narrative character level to it, and then there's a thematic level to it. Because on
Yeah,
a thematic
yeah,
level, she represents women in
yeah,
many ways, and
yeah.
Caleb and Nathan are a pair of dudes
To the patriarchy, yeah.
who are either the nice guys with the savior complex or the
Hmm.
abusive controlling types.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like that's who they are in relation to Ava from a character
Hmm.
standpoint. And yes, we want her to get the hell away from both of them
Yeah,
because neither of them are healthy for her. But
yeah.
then you think from like no matter how I feel about AI, do I understand that a being that can
Mm,
think,
mm,
who is trapped, imprisoned, and on the brink of destruction,
hmm.
do I blame that being for doing anything necessary to escape?
Survival
No.
skills, mate. And
And
that's another thing. Humans do what they can to survive. I mean, I've watched plenty of movies, especially if you watch horror movies. People do what they can to survive, even in hopeless situations.
yeah,
They probably anyway. I mean, he shows it in this when Nathan gets stabbed at the end. Like he's still doing what he can to survive, even though he knows he's dead. That's what she's doing. Has she become human because she's trying to survive? It's another, yeah, it's just so many layers to this. It's a
yeah,
big, big onion. It's a blooming onion.
yep. And this is it was such a unfortunate year that this film came out in a like a cinematic landscape like
Mm,
2015
hmm.
because there were true juggernauts in like
Yeah, La La
award
Land
space at
and
that
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
Well, no, because this was The Revenant, Fury Road, and Spotlight.
Oh, okay. I thought it was at the same year as La
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 Land.
Land
Okay.
came out in 2016. Um, because like
Uh-huh.
this had no chance of winning Best Picture, but like this
No.
is this legitimately taking a step back in hindsight because it's been 10 years. This film, and I think this and Fury Road are going to be the two films from 2015 that are
Yeah.
going to live
Yeah.
on the most.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
I because like I even like absolutely love Brooklyn. That's such a beautiful film that
Yeah,
also came
Brooklyn's
out that
amazing.
year.
Yeah.
Like these are two films that are going to stand the test of time, and that's why I love them so much.
Mm.
Obviously, Fury Road has the insane genre defining element that it's like one of the greatest action films in period in the history of movies, and
Hmm.
also all the underlying thematic work that George Miller injected into that movie. But this is one of the most thought-provoking films to come out in the past 10 years, and
Absolutely.
it Alex Garland does that. That's what's so
This is
fascinating
what I
about
mean. I
his
love his
films.
brain. I love his brain between him and Charlie Kaufman and Charlie Brooker as well. Like they've got some of the greatest minds on the planet at the moment. Well, artistic minds, cinematic minds. Yeah, it's incredible what they do.
Now, just quick kind of wrapping up thoughts about some of these performances too. I think
Mm.
Donald
Hmm.
Gleason is so perfectly that like every guy.
Yes. Yeah.
Like he plays that so well.
Hmm.
Um, because I think up to this point I had only seen him very briefly in True Grit and Dread. Because he had
Okay.
two small roles in that, and I think he was in Frank. Well, no, he was in Frank. I can't remember when Frank came out with Michael Fassbender. I think that came out before this. Where Michael
I couldn't
Fassbender
tell
plays
you.
a guy with a paper mache head. Uh,
In Frank, I haven't seen Frank. I know about it. Well, About Time was before Ex Machina, but I saw Ex Machina before a lot of those
I
films,
hadn't seen
actually.
About Time until Robert finally
Yeah,
convinced
yeah,
me to
yeah,
watch it over the past couple of years.
yeah.
Like Donald Gleason, like really, this is a thankless role because
Yeah.
like he is by far the least interesting character out of the three of them. It's just
Mm.
like, but he plays it so authentically. Alicia Vikander delivers an incredible performance, and
She's so great.
he definitely didn't get nominated for this, which I think is ridiculous because she
Mm.
was incredible. And honestly, I would have given Oscar Isaac a supporting actor nomination for this movie because, my God, the charisma. I love
Yeah.
his humor.
Hmm.
He's a legitimately really funny. Like even like when he's dying, his reactions
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
so real to that character. And
Yeah.
damn, does he have some dance moves and a nice beard.
He does have a pretty kick-ass beard in that, actually. Like it's yeah. But again, he's one of those. Well, yeah, he's one of those tech recluses. So yeah, he looks after himself even when he doesn't really need to, I suppose.
And I think he is legitimately an amazing actor.
Mm.
And it it disappoints me a little bit in terms of his recent track record in terms of like what projects he's doing. Because like him being Waste is like Apocalypse, and then recently, but I really liked. I thought he was great in Moon Knight, and he's been doing
Yes, he
those
is.
animated Adams Family movies as Gomez and stuff like that. Like,
Yes.
the,
Spider-Man as well. He's in
oh
the
yeah,
yeah,
what he'll be back in Beyond the Spider Verse in
next year.
5 more years when it
Next
finally
year
comes out.
apparently. Yeah.
Apparently,
Yeah.
I don't, Adam, I don't believe it until they release a trailer. Um, but like he did Inside Llewyn Davis right before this.
Yes.
A Most Violent Year was a great
Hmm.
performance from him too,
Yeah.
and he's incredible. And I guess one thing that I would like to, I guess one, Adam, do you have any other thoughts that you specifically wanted to throw out about the film?
I think I've said a lot, to be honest. I don't think I do. I've covered off pretty much all of my notes and the depth of what this is all about. Other than yeah,
Okay,
it's one of those ones that we've spoken about many times. How I like a
yeah.
very densely
Mhm.
thematic film. So yeah, this is
Then
special.
I always like to wrap this show up with a little bit of a fun prompt that I've started doing.
Okay.
Now, if Ex Machina got a sequel,
Mm.
where would you want to see Ava's story go?
Where would I want to see her go? At the end, she's in looks like an office building. So I would
Yeah.
like her just to have. There's so many different things, and just a funny one comment in my head. I don't think this is what I'd want to see, but it'd be cool to see her in one of those, like the Dakota Johnson style rom-com, where she's just an office girl and she's kind of falling in love and not having those relationship issues, but from a robot perspective that
Yeah.
the other person doesn't know that she's a bot, I guess, and going through those machinations of her first intimate experience and things like that. That'd be quite funny. Um, Maybe I'll stick with that answer. I actually kind of like that. Not, but it's very much a tonal shift to what this movie is.
Yes.
So
So
yeah.
the idea that I came up with is similar but very different tone. So like
Hmm.
what I imagine her story would be is her trying to assimilate into an
Yeah.
office job and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
people slowly start finding out her truth and she
Hmm.
becomes a serial killer
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
because of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And well, I guess she's not technically a serial killer. Um it wouldn't be like an MO and stuff like that. It's
Well,
she starts killing people to cover her tracks,
yeah,
and then it
absolutely.
becomes this like intense thriller.
Well, it's kind of
And
I like that idea because it's kind of back to my point on how would the law deal with that, being that she's not human.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
and her trying to avoid police, and maybe even he's trying to retro like what's the word? When you have a completed something and you try to work backwards to find the formula for it. I don't know. She's trying to use her
Uh,
own structure to work backwards to create others like her.
right. Oh,
So
okay.
reverse
Right. So
engineering.
reverse engineer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that is what I was trying to think of. So like, and secretly she's trying to reverse engineer
Hmm.
herself to make more of her.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah. Yeah.
So
You
I
see
think
her
that would
sitting at
be
a desk like Batman and just figuring that out as well. Yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe that's the
what
industry she gets a job in. She might work at like an AI firm. She might go work for
Can you
Grok or
imagine if
something
she got a job
at Tesla or
his,
something.
his company
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
under new
Oh,
management?
yes.
Because
Because he's dead. Well,
yeah,
again, we'd need to see the after, well, 10 years later, for example, maybe if it come out in 2015, 15 years later, that would be the legend that he was killed and someone escaped, but they wouldn't know what she looked like either, right? So, and she could be on the inside of that. And
did
maybe
she destroy?
she
Did
could
she
play the
destroy the
investigator.
evidence?
She could be investigating her own crimes, right? So, that'd be
There's a
cool as
lot of
well.
interesting things where Alex Garland could go with this. I don't know if he has any
Definitely.
desire to go back to this, but I
I
think
don't
it
think
would
he
be
does that type of thing apart from 28 franchise, but yeah, I think he does that.
It would be fascinating for sure.
Mm,
I would want to see it. Um, I think there's a
yes,
lot, and it would be a great role for Alicia Vikander to come back to. See, these are the
definitely.
types of sequels that I do want to see because there's something really
Yes.
interesting to dig into
Same,
here.
yeah, but that and the Truman Show. We've spoken about the Truman Show years ago about what a
Yes,
sequel for that could be like. So, yeah, I'll be lining up for both of the sequels for this, to be honest. As much as
there we
I'm
go.
not a massive fan of sequels and that as well, but yeah, these ones would be very fascinating.
But Adam, thank you so much for coming on and chatting Ex Machina with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a really interesting discussion, a lot to talk about.
Absolutely. And thank all of you for listening. Next month, I'll be diving it as I'm pulling up my schedule here. Next month, as this is releasing in February, next month, March, Rowan Wood, my former co host
Mm.
of Rowan in the Wasteland, will be coming on to talk about what we do in the shadows.
Oh, very nice.
So a very different vibe. Um, but one that I'll certainly probably laugh a lot at that episode because
Yeah,
God, that movie is so damn funny.
it is.
Thank you all for listening. Make sure to like, comment, and share on this episode. What is your go-to AI related film? Um, and maybe you can get in an argument with one of your best friends for 10 years of which one's better too. And make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. The SPDM Crew Podcasting Network is ever expanding. We have so many different types of shows with all different interests, especially movies. So if you love movies, we definitely have that. And if you want to join the crew as a guest on a show like this, or if you have an idea for your own podcast, reach out to us on our website. And if you like our logo, this is my buddy Joe. This is honestly my favorite logo for any of my shows. Joe did such a great job bringing my vision of me as the Wasteland reviewer sitting in a desert watching on a big drive-in screen. Um, Such a cool design. Joe does a lot of great work. Check out his Etsy store. But most importantly, thank you as always for tuning in and supporting the Wasteland Vintage Roadshow here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network.